Welcome to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Tuesday, October 28th at 11:30 in the morning, I'm going to attend the end of Spanish Heritage Month, a ceremony located at the O'Donnell Dempsey Center at 622 Salem Avenue. Come join us with the seniors in celebrating the end of Hispanic Heritage Month here in our city. On Thursday of this week, at October 30th at 12:30 in the afternoon, there will be a red ribbon event that I'll attend at the Peterstown Community Center, 408 Palmer Street in the city of Elizabeth. If you need any information concerning these events or any other events going around the city of Elizabeth this week, please call 908-820-4124. And remember, Friday is Halloween, and we encourage all of our young people to have a very safe trick-or-treating day on Halloween. We want you to be safe, go with your friends, no one go alone, let your parents check your candy, all of those things that are important, but have a safe and fun Halloween day on Friday. We'll see you after these messages.
We have some of the finest teachers in the country. And then they graduate. Kean University.
Welcome back to our city. I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Michael Johnson of the YMCA, who's working on a diabetes prevention program at the Y and other initiatives at the Gateway Family YMCA. Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mary, thank you very much.
So we were talking before the show started about your years with the YMCA, and you didn't start in Elizabeth, but you got a lot of years with the Y. Tell us about that.
Yeah, boy, I started February of 1989. And I started the Westfield area YMCA. And it's interesting, I changed so much. My first title was Nautilus Director, then Strength Training Director. And I stayed for 17 years till 2006. And then 2006 on, I've been with the Gateway Family YMCA.
So Nautilus, is that exercise?
Yeah, a while ago, Nautilus was a leading strength training equipment manufacturer out there. It was Nautilus, Universal. Nautilus had their one set to failure philosophy. That was big a long time ago. So when I was hired at Westfield, I was hired in this little tiny room, one circuit of Nautilus, and I had to supervise everybody going around the one circuit of Nautilus. We had one stair climber, one rowing machine, and one bike. And now things have just changed so much in the industry with strength training and so many different forms and methods and equipment.
I don't know about Westfield, but the health club in Elizabeth is just been renovated and quite large, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the changes over there too. There's now a new area for beginners. We call it like the health seeker area, and it's a beginning. It's a line from Life Fitness where there's no weights, no equipment. It's on bands, so a new person can actually start with as low as 5 pounds of resistance. Much different than in the past. It's quieter, smoother, sleeker. The learning curve is much smaller. So a new person can begin and be successful right away.
So Michael, tell us about the Gateway Family YMCA and their commitment to healthy living.
Sure. For our commitment to healthy living, we have programs, and this is one of the changes from over the years. We have primary, secondary, tertiary programs.
You never had any of that years ago, right?
No, things have changed so much. A primary program is something for like the average individual. They're maintaining their health, group exercise, personal training, swimming classes, swimming lessons, youth sports. On the other end, the tertiary programs are for programs for those individuals that have chronic disease. So individuals with cancer, obesity, arthritis, and diabetes. Those programs there, tertiary programs, are programs that we want to try and help them reclaim their health, get them back to where they were initially. The diabetes prevention program is an example of a secondary program. Secondary programs are preventative programs. So in diabetes prevention, they have pre-diabetes. That just means their blood sugar levels aren't quite high enough to be classified as diabetic. So we have programming in this program, the diabetes prevention program. We want to help that individual prevent them from going to a diabetes state. We want them to just, I don't know, not even stay pre-diabetic, but go down into a regular lifestyle.
If you're in pre-diabetes position, you can alter that through exercise and other means of losing weight, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And the goals of the program, it's a one-year-long program, the diabetes prevention program. The goals of the program are to eventually accumulate 150 minutes of physical activity throughout the week and lose 5 to 7% of your body weight. By doing those two, it greatly reduces the chance of developing diabetes.
And the status of diabetes in America today and in relation to the city of Elizabeth, how does that work?
Yeah, I'd say you look at the numbers can scare you. When we started the program back in 2010, the numbers from the CDC, Centers of Disease Control, there were 26 million Americans with diabetes and 79 million with prediabetes. Today, as a new report from the CDC in July of 2014, those numbers went to 29 million Americans now have diabetes and 86 million now have prediabetes, which is just a large jump just in those 4 or 5 years. Of those 86 million Americans that have prediabetes, 39% were African American, 38% were Hispanic Latino. Now, if you compare that with our city of Elizabeth, the city of Elizabeth is very large, maybe almost 60% Hispanic Latino, 26% African American. So if you compare those statistics with those national numbers, there could be a lot of potential cases for prediabetes in our city of Elizabeth.
And when you work with folks with prediabetes, what's the first thing you tell them? Hey, lose weight? Or no? I mean, I kid around about it, but is that the first thing you say?
To qualify for the program?
Yeah.
Is that to qualify for the program? 2 steps. 1, they have to be 18 years of age and older, and 2, they have a BMI, which is a body mass index of over 25. And body mass index is just the ratio of your height and your weight. If you're over 25, that means you just have a little too much weight on your current frame. From there, to qualify for the program, they have to be diagnosed through a blood test from the physician, fasting blood glucose, A1C test, and that's from a physician. Now, if an individual doesn't have a physician because of insurance, we also have like a little assessment, a 9-point assessment. And if you score 9 points or higher, you may have the risk factors for developing prediabetes.
And the YMC diabetes program, how did is this new?
Approximately 2009, 2010, it originated from 2 research studies. The first research study was in the New England Journal of Medicine back in 2002 by the Diabetes Research Group. And that particular group had a lot of talented individuals from University of Miami, Chicago, Texas, and they looked at a lot of people. That study was replicated in what was called the DEPLOY study, DEPLOY, which is Diabetes Education and Prevention with Lifestyle Intervention at a YMCA.
You remember that?
That was a tough one. I had to study that one before I got up here. So that DEPLOY study replicated the first study with only one change. In the first study, every individual, this is thousands of individuals, they had one-on-one training, which could be very, very costly and very, very expensive. The second study replicated everything except it changed one thing. It took the group and it had group training, group dynamics. And as a result, in both studies, the participants who lost 5 to 7% of their body weight, there was a 58% reduction of developing diabetes. So the National YMCA saw that, and they took both studies, and that's how they formed the diabetes prevention program.
So for our viewers, we're strictly talking about type 2 diabetes, correct?
No, prediabetes.
Prediabetes.
Prediabetes, yeah. Yeah, the program, we want to prevent people from developing type 2 diabetes so that they've been diagnosed or have the risk factors for prediabetes, and they're the ones who qualify for the program.
The juvenile diabetes is something totally different.
Something totally different, yeah.
Right. Now, can you develop type 2 diabetes and then not have it? If you followed a program, regimented, and lost weight and did everything else, could you get to that point and then go backwards?
Well, if you have type 2 diabetes, by all means, yeah, you could, with weight reduction, exercise protocol, sure, you can reduce your risk factors even more so, which is really good because diabetes is just devastating. If people with diabetes, the 7th leading cause of death in the United States. You have a greater risk of developing stroke, heart disease, eye issues, blindness, kidney issues, neuropathy, amputation. So yeah, so if you're diabetic, yeah, by all means, by having a lifestyle modification to go back, yeah. But that's type 2 diabetes is a little beyond our scope of practice. So definitely see your physician on a regular basis just to maintain.
Your goal in this program is to get people to that stage.
Yeah, it's a secondary program where it's a preventative program. We want to prevent those individuals from becoming diabetic.
What has the YMCA currently been doing to educate the community about the risk of diabetes, and what other groups do you collaborate with?
Yeah, well, right now there's 3 people in our department. Myself, I oversee the program throughout our association. my immediate supervisor, and we have a part-time diabetes coordinator. Currently, my supervisor and diabetes coordinator are going out in the community, speaking with doctors and physicians, just to try and get them on board too, so we can work with them and they can refer people to us that have the prediabetes. We're currently working with Trinidad's Regional Medical Center, Elizabethport Health Center. They're part of our Shaping Elizabeth team. And we also have, on occasion, twice a year, we have Trinidad's come to the Elizabeth Branch Y and provide diabetes screenings, free diabetes screenings. Our next one is going to be November 4th, Tuesday, from 4 to 6, so that's free to the community. So those are ways we try and get the word out there about diabetes, prediabetes.
So how do the residents actually find out? Is it word of mouth? Is it advertisements? Is it brochures?
Word of mouth, brochures, press releases, email blasts, but a lot of word of mouth. This particular program, Diabetes Prevention, is just different. People just don't come to it and flock to it. You really have to go out, talk it up, because the majority of the people that have prediabetes don't even know it. That's what's the scary thing about it. Of those 86 million Americans, most of them don't even know about it. And if they don't undergo a lifestyle modification within 10 years, they could become diabetic. But with diabetes or prediabetes, you don't feel it. The error people have is, if I'm not sick, I'm well. If I'm not sick, I'm okay. Well, if you're not sick, that's one thing, but you don't know what's going on internally. Like, you can't feel that sugar floating around in your bloodstream, but it's creating havoc in your body. That's why it's important to get checked and just find out about it.
So, Michael, residents of the city of Elizabeth, how do they find out more about the Y programs? Website, how press releases, how else?
Yeah, if anybody wants information on the diabetes prevention program, they can always contact me. I'm at 908-249-4809. If an individual is bilingual, don't be afraid to leave a message, because I'll just forward that message on to our bilingual coach, and she'll get back to the individual. Our website is www.tgfymca.org, and on there too we have information, plus we have that assessment I talked about too. Or you can go to National YMCA, ymca.net/diabetes. They have the assessment as well too.
And Michael, one more, how do you actually get to enroll in the program? They got to show up at the Y? Can you do it through a website, phone call? How do you enroll?
Speaking with me first, because this way we could discuss, make sure they hit they're 18 and over and they have a BMI over 25. Maybe I could speak with the physician beforehand, but speak with me first, because if we talk via the conversation first, maybe it's about a 30-minute conversation in person or via telephone, and I could explain more about the program too, because it is a one-year-long program. It is a large commitment, and people just need to know what they're getting into before they begin the program.
Michael, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show. It sounds like a great program at the Y, and I wish you lots of luck in educating some people about prediabetes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for your efforts.
Thanks.
For Michael Johnson, please stay with us after these messages. I'll be back with more with Donald Johnson. Welcome back to our city, where I'm joined in the second half of the show by Mr. Donald Johnson, who's a supervisor in our Office on Youth program. We're going to talk about the Harvest Fest in the city of Elizabeth. Harvest Fest. I'll get it right yet. Donald, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mary. How you doing?
So, tell us a little bit about your background before we get into the Harvest Fest.
Cool. Born and raised in Elizabeth. Graduated from Elizabeth High. Went to school in New Hampshire, Franklin Pierce College. Then after that, I played professional basketball with the Harlem Globetrotters for about 6 years, and I played in Italy for about 2 years.
So you played with the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yes, I have.
Did you meet Curly Neal?
No, I did not.
He passed away by the time you got
no,
there?
he was still there, but he wasn't around a lot as much.
You guys never lose?
No, we don't at all. But it's a show and basketball all mixed together. Got to travel a lot with them. I'm in 70 different countries. I learned 5 different languages, so it was a great experience.
And how long are you working for the city of Elizabeth?
I've been working for the city of Elizabeth part-time since I was about 16. Started with recreation at the pools, and then started working with the office youth since I was 19 years old. Started at the SOAR program, then SOAR 2, and then...
And I never knew in all this time that I've known you that you played with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Well, now you know.
So I took my daughter to see them a few years back.
Okay.
Was there a chance at the Meadowlands? Was there a chance you were there?
Yeah, there was. The last time I was there probably was around 2006.
That's about what? Yeah, that's about the year I took her.
Oh, okay.
So what position did you play?
Point guard.
Point guard.
Yes.
So did you throw the ball on your head and under your arms and legs and
all that good
stuff? All that stuff. Really?
Yes.
Is that why you got hired in the city of Elizabeth?
Probably so.
Probably so, huh? Jeez, I was really glad to hear this. So tell us about Harvest Fest, where it's going to take place, and and when?
Okay, the Harvest Fest is next Thursday, October 30th, from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Portuguese Instructive Social Club on 645 Grove Street. And the entrance is on the right for you guys to get into. And this,
What do we expect? What happens?
oh, it's a great autumn feeling that happens. A lot of times, a lot of the kids through our city never get a chance to go pumpkin picking or apple picking. We bring all that into the area for the cities and the community to also get a good chance of seeing what an autumn feel is like. You got hay rides going on. We got all types of games. We got performances. We have our national ranked step team, which is our demolition step team, through our own program called the Building Future Leaders. That will be there as well performing. We have a guest DJ, special guests coming by, all types of councilwomen. It's going to be a great feel.
Can anyone go to this?
Everyone can go, and it's free to the entire public throughout our city and the county as well. So we want everybody to come
So
out
the county's
and join us.
a helpful sponsor in this as well.
Yes, they are. This is actually the 6th year of them doing it, so they've been pretty good partnership.
So why
with
don't you
this.
bring the guys from the Globetrotters in, and they can play a little ball while these people are going on the hayride?
That would be cool, but they're in the off season right now. They actually start training camp next month, so I'm gonna try
Are
to
you
work
still in
that
touch
out.
with these guys?
Actually, I'm still in touch with the general manager of the team, so
Oh, yeah.
and thinking about getting some tickets for a lot of the people that I know,
Okay.
and the kids in our program.
They have no women on the team, though, right?
Actually, do this year they have about 2 women, I believe, on the team.
Do they really?
Yeah,
You're breaking down
good.
all the barriers now, huh? Jeez. What year is this in the Harvest Fest? How many we
This
had?
is the 6th year. Only year we missed out was 2012 due to Hurricane Sandy.
Right.
But other than that, every year since 2009, we've been doing it. We started first at the recreation centers at Fred Erskleman Center in Bayway, but now last year we did at the Portuguese Club, which was a great turnout. So we decided to bring it back to that field. It's a great location, far as being safe and healthy, all mixed in one together.
And tell us a little bit about keeping something new and keeping this going is difficult. So how do you figure out something new, and what's new in this year's program?
Just coming up with new ideas, building different partnerships with people, getting ideas from everybody. Because, your ideas by yourself is actually good. But when you have a group of people around you and people that you work with all the time through different events throughout the city, it helps out even more. A lot of things that we're doing new this year, we have a surprise guest I can't really let go now.
You can't even
but
tell the mayor the surprise guest?
I can tell you by yourself, but I definitely will.
You gotta tell me on TV, though.
No, not at all. But we have some special guests coming by, different actors coming by. It's going to be pretty good. Picture taking, all that type of
So the reason for this celebration, is it just Halloween or is it harvest or autumn? What's the reason?
It's an autumn, fall, and actually a great kickoff to the holiday season because the day after you have Halloween. So a lot of parents don't get full advantage of taking their kids out. Within our Harvest Festival, they'll get a chance to we have a costume contest that's going on that day, so the kids get to dress up and be in a safe environment during that day. So it's a kickoff to the whole entire fall season and holidays that are coming up, like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Any cost of admission to this?
Oh, it's free for everyone, including you, man.
Including me.
Of course.
I'm glad to hear that. We have to have some sponsors, right? And you probably work hard in getting those sponsors. So tell us a little bit about those sponsors.
Well, the sponsor that we have is the City of Elizabeth itself, MetLife Solutions Group, which is a big key factor. It's pretty much they do a lot of background through all this. They sponsor a lot of the things that we do as far as the food and things like that. We work with the Portuguese Instructive Social Club, who actually are hosting the event with their location. We have the Department of Recreation and our Union County freeholder, Sergio Granados, as well.
And how do people contact you, or how do they get to know about this?
Oh, they could call us at 908-820-4051.
Donald, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show, and I look forward to first hearing who these special guests are, and two, to seeing you at Harvest Fest.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All righty.
For Donald Johnson and Harvest Fest and Mr. Michael Johnson and the pre-diabetes program at the Y, I'm Chris Bolwage. Have a safe Halloween, and we'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.
We're creating tomorrow's jobs today. Kane University.